Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. Well, the long-awaited day for me and for some of you is finally here. The MDO 2023 is now finally done, and so the laborious Q&A process and all of these kinds of things are done, so it's now ready to be launched. So let's take a quick overview over what's new in MDO 2023 and just a quick brush over all of the functionalities for those who are new to My Daily Organizer. First of all, what is My Daily Organizer? Well, My Daily Organizer is a hyperlinked PDF file that offers you a way for your yearly organization, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, and any kind of planner organizer for the entirety of a year. It is designed for a calendar year, and it is important to remember that My Daily Organizer is not an app. So it really doesn't matter what kind of an OS environment you have, as long as your system supports PDF files with hyperlinks and has note-taking capabilities of some sort, the likelihood is that MDO will work just fine on that platform. That being said, it is primarily designed and officially supports the Remarkable, Supernote, and Boox devices as its kind of official support environments, and those are the versions that are offered in the package when you order it. However, you can choose any one of those platforms and see which version suits your platform best. And MDO actually works on iPads, on an Android tablet, on Kobo, Ellipsa, and multitudes of other devices. But as mentioned, these three it is specifically designed for, and these three platforms and devices or environments are the officially supported environments. Before I dive into what has been added and changed and improved in the 2023 version of My Daily Organizer, just a quick overview of how it functions and what you can do with it. Well, you begin with your yearly calendar, and on this page everything is hyperlinked. So you can see on the top you have quarters, access to quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, from which you can go back to your yearly calendar. On top you will see you have January, February, March. You can tap any one of these months and it will take you to a monthly planner overview. And also, in addition, you also have access to any single day within a year directly from the yearly calendar. In addition to that, from any page anywhere on the My Daily Organizer, you will see My Notes and My Lists. That is because the My Daily Organizer contains also 99 dedicated empty pages that are numerized here, so as note 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 99. And these are there for you to actually just add additional notes. To the side of them, you have your note title, right? So you can just add a title to your note, and you also have the same type of thing, 99 lists, my lists. They're also with numbered, and you can have a checklist for here. Now these can be kind of referenced to as note 01, note 99 from anywhere in your document. So for example, let's say that maybe you are doing a weekly plan and an overview for here, and then you can just have some notes down there, and then you can say note 02. And that way you know that you can just go to note 02, and then you will have access to, that's a quick way to actually go to your notes. From the quarterly overviews, you can go back, again, you have the same access to the months themselves and also to any day of the year in the same manner as it was from the yearly calendar. Once we get to the months, of course, everything functions as you would expect it to, with the addition that on the sides you have access to specific weeks. So when you tap on the week itself, you can go to the week itself or go back to the monthly planner. On the bottom here, you will see two columns for notes. Now, these can be used for anything that you want. I personally prefer to actually organize them in such a way that this is my planned tasks for the month, and here are my achieved tasks for the month. So basically I can actually make a plan for the month itself, see what I have planned for it, and then I can reflect on what has been achieved, what needs to be transferred over to the next month, and just a personal reflection or a professional reflection on how the plan was executed for that month. But of course, I leave it empty so that you can actually use it any way you want. When you go into your weekly planner, you have access to each day of the week, and you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For a Monday start and for a Sunday start, it starts with the Sunday. Equal spacing for each day, and we have just a brief field here, non-accessible. This is just your weekly goals, so that you can have your weekly goals here as a reminder and a brief overview over everything for each day that you have planned. In addition to that, you also have weekly notes, which is a dedicated lined page for you to add your notes that reflect back to your weekly plan of whatever it may be. You can go back to your weekly planner or your month planner from both weeks or the weekly notes themselves. So everything is interconnected. You can jump back pretty much very quickly with 1 to 2 gestures to any place that you might want to go through, which was the whole idea. Now, of course, once we go down to the nitty-gritty, which is your daily planner and daily organizer, each day is organized in different ways. So your daily planner has the daily planner page, 2 dedicated daily notes pages, which are pretty much the same like the weekly notes pages. And then you also have a daily diary. From the daily planner, you have the day of the month, week number, and the year itself, and which day of the week it is. You can access back to the month that you want to go to. You can go to the weekly planner from the day itself if you want to. You can also go into weekly notes from your daily planner, and notes and lists as usual. On the top left, you have a dedicated to-do list with checkboxes. Then you have short notes, and then on the right-hand side, you have a schedule. Now, the schedule is divided and organized in such a way that it goes from 5 a.m. or p.m. all the way down to 10 p.m. or a.m. Now, how is this meant to be used? Well, it really depends if you are working a night shift or a day shift. So let's say for majority of people who are using this, you're having a day shift, so you start from 7 a.m., right? So you don't care about the PM stuff. So you just cross it over and then you use it like that. Okay, so, or let's say that maybe you start from 7 p.m. and in that case, you simply cross over the one that you don't want, and then the actual schedule reflects your timeline and your shift. This is made in such a way because you can't fit 24 lines to make them usable, because even as it is, they are very, very thin, and this is like as small as I can get them to still make them and have them usable on a single page. Daily notes offer you 2 pages of just lined pages that you have here, from which you can go back to a year, your daily planner, or go directly to your daily diary. Now, in a daily diary, this is basically your personal reflection, and this is meant to be a long-term use for people to kind of have their long-term goals, short-term goals if you want as well, and to remind yourself 3 things that you are grateful for and the best thing that happened today. And then maybe if you want a little bit of a daily log. This kind of daily diary is a really, really good and a healthy reflection tool, but it needs to be used on a long-term basis for you to actually see some results coming back to you. So that's a general overview of my daily organizer and what you can do with it and basically what's it for. Now on to what has been changed or added in my daily organizer 2023 when compared to 2022, for example. Well, there's several things, just improvements, no major additions, because 2022 had a lot of major additions, so, and people are quite happy with it, and I'm also quite happy with it as well. So The first major thing that has been added, or major-ish thing, is that you now are able to go back from any month in your calendar. You can go back to the appropriate quarterly organizer. So that's something that has been requested, and of course I have added it here, so now it is there. The second thing that is a bit of a major change is the layout and the organization of your weekly planner. The problem before was that the weekend days were not equally spaced out, and that meant that on a Sunday version, Sunday would have a big space and Friday would have a small space. Now that I did not like, and of course some users didn't like, so this was my high priority to actually change, and I do appreciate a lot of the feedback, and it's interesting that most of the feedback actually centered on this solution, and at the time when I also actually prepared this, and then I saw the feedback and it was like, okay, that actually works. So basically the change is now we have 8 equal spacings in 2 columns for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, Monday, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a dedicated week goals shortcut to actually just have your weekly goals. This way you have equal space for all of the days and equal spacing between Monday and Sunday start versions. Another thing that has been improved in the monthly overview is the actual hitbox or detection box for the hyperlink for each of the days. Previously, it was just this little square here where the number is. Now it has been extended to cover the entire width of any of the days. So this way it's a compromise between accidentally hitting those hyperlink boxes while writing, but also not having to be super precise when trying to initiate these days from the monthly overview. In the daily pages in 2022 version, there was actually an error, and the AM PM was permutated here. So instead of 12 PM, it was 12 AM and then PM. This has now been fixed in 2023. And finally, you can see that under the week number, we have a little box here, notes, which if you tap on it will take you to your weekly notes themselves. So this box has been intentionally made small because the priority of going back to the week, of course, is much higher, but this is still perfectly accessible, and I worked quite a bit on making that little hitbox in such a way that you can actually quite easily access it without accidentally triggering the daily notes or the week itself. So you can go to the week easily, and then you can go to the week notes equally easily. Of course, because of the nature that it is so small, a little bit of kind of aiming and care needs to be taken into consideration when doing that, but from my testing, it's something that's supposed to work quite okay. As before, in the package that you download, you will have 3 different cover versions. These are exactly the same document. The only thing that's different is the 3 different covers. So you have this one, and that one. There's a little explanation on the blank version. Well, the blank version is here for you to actually fill out and say MDO 2023 if you want, my plans or whatever it may be that you want, and then that will be your personalized version. The package also contains categorization between Boox, Supernote, and Remarkable, and you need to use your adequate versions. For the Remarkable, you have left-handed and right-handed versions, and for each of the 2, you can choose between Monday and Sunday start. So Sunday start, naturally, will have also 3 covers that you can choose from. The big difference, of course, is that the entirety of the calendar has a Sunday start standard from in yearly, monthly, weekly, which is now equal throughout the whole thing, and also make sure that your interconnections and going to the week numberings and all of these kinds of things, that it's actually correct. So that is something that's available throughout both left-handed and right-handed versions. And if you are using a left-handed version of the UI for the Remarkable, it required definitely a dedicated version to be developed, but that one has been made so that the the toolbar itself does not interfere with any of the anything of the content for here, so that you can actually easily interact with either of them. So left-handed version and the right-hand version, both available on the Remarkable. On the Boox platform, you have the same type of thing, and it functions exactly the same. The layout is a little bit different, simply because the user interface of the reader on the Boox is different, and it allows you for a different kind of interaction. So, for example, Boox devices offer you the option to interact with the hyperlinks with your stylus, which is actually quite a nice thing. And when you want to scribble, you simply enable your scribble mode. Start scribbling, and while you're in scribble mode, your pen will always work, and then your touch is actually going to be the one that initiates the hyperlinks. The layout itself and My Daily Organizer works on the smaller format as well, in exactly the same manner. However, if this turns out to be a little bit too small for you, you can always turn the orientation of your device to be sideways, and then make sure that your formatting is fitted to width. And then every next and previous page swipe will simply swipe up and down the page, and you can still interact and maintain the formatting throughout the entire document. MDO 2023 had to be slightly redesigned and conformed to the new user interface from the latest update that the Supernote carries. And the main issue here was that we have the new behavior of the toolbar, and that the toolbar can now be moved up, down, left, or right. And I had to make sure that in all of these options that it actually functions properly and it does not obscure the contents of the MDO. Now, of course, you can just go into full screen mode and then that's not an issue. But for people who want to have their toolbar and their bottom page content bar, whatever it may be, visible at all times, I wanted to make sure that the MDO can actually conform to this comfortably and that you can use it normally. This was especially a challenge on the A6X because when you actually make the UI fit and conform on the A5X, the scaling of the toolbar is actually different and it occupies a little bit different area percentage-wise on the larger and the smaller format. So a little bit of compromise had to be kind of figured out so that one version fits very, very well, and that it actually works both on the smaller and on the larger format. But as you can see, none of the things are obscured, and you can move the toolbar even on the A6X up, down, and because this is one of the busiest pages here, and left, and to the right. And you can just continue using it normally and see how, proceed about your business. However, I would definitely suggest for the owners of A6X to use the landscape mode, especially because the half-page view, they call it, because it lends itself to be really, really good for the MDO, especially because you have like super easy navigation, pretty much exactly the same like in on a Boox platform. So on a smaller format, that is a very, very good way to interact and to use the My Daily Organizer. As mentioned before, the MDO works on multitudes of platforms, not just the selected ones and the officially supported ones. So you can actually run it on QuirkLogic Paper, for example, and it's really, really nice to have a 13.3-inch format. And finally, the reader on the paper has hyperlink functionality and ability to take notes. So that is a very, very good thing. And so far that I've tested it, it works okay, but unfortunately the stability of the reader itself on the QuirkLogic paper is not yet that good. So whenever you cross into a territory of a larger document of maybe 400-500 pages, sometimes it will crash. That is something that I have experienced it, and since MDO is a document that has 1785 pages, it definitely falls into a category of a heavier document, but for the most part it works pretty much okay. There we go. I was trying to kind of interact quite rapidly so that I can get it, and then yeah, sometimes it will crash. So this is why, for example, a platform like this is not officially supported, because even though it works and it functions and it's not up to the PDF itself or the MDO, the book reader is not that stable when dealing with the larger documents. So that's the reason here. MDO functions on the latest Kobo platforms as well. So for example, Ellipsa and Sage, which are both note-taking capable devices, they are able to support, and you can use fairly efficiently. That's a very, very fast and nippy kind of a device. So you can definitely use MDO on the Kobo Ellipsa and Kobo Sage. The preferred version would be the Boox version because it fills out the amount of screen pretty much to the maximum. The only thing to be careful of is the upper corner here is a bookmark, and when you're touching your next day or next page, if you go too far to the side, that can kind of clash. If that bothers you, then you can actually use the Supernote version, which is a little bit more condensed. So these buttons are a little bit further away from the corners, and then you don't have that issue. And one of the newer additions here is Huawei MatePad paper, and that one also supports and works with MDO okay, quite okay. The speed of the device is a little bit on the it's okay most of the time. It's actually quite fine. It's just not as fast, as speedy as Boox devices in their speed refresh mode and things like that, but everything else is functioning normally. And you can of course just tap in the middle, activate your writing, and then simply take your notes here. And if you don't want to take notes, and if you maybe want to use your stylus instead for navigation, you can exit the the writing mode and then just use your stylus to activate the days and hyperlinks and everything else that you may want to use. All right, so that is the MDO 2023, what it brings to the table and what my daily organizer in a quick glance actually is. As I mentioned, for those who are new to my daily organizer, please make sure that you check in the description down below. The very first thing you'll see is the My Daily Organizer playlist, and that playlist contains really useful videos, such as much more detailed overviews of the functionalities, tips and tricks on how to use it, installation guide, common questions, and yeah, just a lot of useful info for new and experienced MDO users to get the best out of the My Daily Organizer. MDO 2023 is now available on the mydeepguide.com/store, and you can find it there, and also a bundle package for MDO 2022 and 2023. For the existing users, which means people who have previously bought at least one version of MDO before this release day, you will have or should have received an email that will give you a promo code. That promo code gives you a 30% discount on MDO 2023 when you're ordering it as my sign of a thank you. And I think all of the emails should be going within this week because they have to go in like several stages. It's not all at once. So just be patient, and if you don't get it within this week, be sure to check your spam and junk folder in case, for whatever reason, sometimes they end up there, and sometimes some emails just get blocked or bounced. So wait for a week, and then if you still didn't get your promo code email, and you are an existing customer before today, then please do contact me at contact@mydeepguide.com, and make sure that you include your original order number so that I can look it up, check out what happened, and then send you your promo code. I'm really excited about today today. It's a little bit of a foggy and weird day when it's actually finally done, because up until now I've spent literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of developing and testing this whole thing and catching every little thing and then fine-tuning it, and then you get it on a device and then you figure out, and in case of Supernote, for example, it was like so much tweaking to get it actually like a good compromise between A6 and A5 formats and the new UI and the toolbar going anywhere. So it's a really good place to be, to know that I'm actually filming this video now and that the MDO 2023 is actually done and ready to be released to you to enjoy using it. I want to extend my really deep and heartfelt thank you to all of the existing customers and all of the incredible support that I have had so far regarding the My Daily Organizer. It's incredible to actually read through the emails and comments and the experiences and the sentiments expressed. It really matters a lot. So that motivates me to try and actually persevere and do the best job that I can. So that's why it actually matters to me so much, that it's really good and that it matches your expectations. So thank you so much for the amazing support, and I hope that you enjoy using the My Daily Organizer in 2023 as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.